Hello guys, this is a very janky setup using my iPhone because I don't have a camera. So this is a video for some of the Mage Knight collectors out there. I'm just going to go over a haul that I got for very, very cheap, $9, and I got some very rare LEs and I got some uniques out of it. Probably the biggest steal that I've ever gotten buying Mage Knight ever. And then I'm going to go over the rebasing process for custom figures and how to do that. So I'm going to go over 2 figures that I'm currently customizing. So going over the haul that I just got, I'm just going to go through them. I'll start with the uniques first. The first one is Orc Captain, and I didn't realize this until I saw another rendition of Orc Captain, but he actually has a flag right here and with a skull on it. And for some reason, the skull, I thought the skull was a piece of junk and I threw it out, but I didn't realize that he actually had a flag that went off here. Unfortunate, but I mean, for a $9 haul of Mage Knight, you can't really complain. It is a, it looks like, it doesn't even look like he was holding a flag. I didn't notice it until way later. But this figure is actually quite good. It's probably one of the only figures with sweep that it actually matters because it has charge, and so it can charge in and then also sweep. You can kind of see the base here, the beginning dial. It's 148 points. He's got battle armor, which makes him, 19 defense against range. It's actually very good. And then command, it hits for 5 damage. So he's, 2/3 of your, or 3/4 of your build, 150 points nearly. But he's very good. I think with a healer, you can make a build around him. That's kind of fun. The other one I got, the other unique that I got was, I think this was the only other unique, is Paladin Prince. I've wanted this figure for a while. I didn't realize that he had this kind of glossy blue paint. Not a lot of figures have that. LEs, limited edition figures, have that copper paint. And the other one I'm aware of is Vorgoth. Some of the orcs have that kind of shiny copper paint too, but Vorgoth and this figure have like a shiny paint, which is super rare, I think. And I didn't realize how good this figure was. He's got regular healing, he's got magic immunity and command for 71 points. Definitely could make a Knights Immortal swarm with him, where he kind of is behind everyone, pushing with a force march, and then he could heal whatever figure for 4 clicks. He could heal whatever figure, and then whenever anybody tries to base him, you could just pop him around, and he has 12 attack. He could easily swing back for quite a bit of damage. So he's a good figure. So jumping into the limited edition figures, I actually don't even know what some of these do because I haven't looked at them yet. So I got Dargrum. It looks like he's from Morrowind. He's got Weapon Master, 10 attack, 8 speed, 15 defense with toughness, and he's got 3 base damage. Let's see, does he get anything else? I don't think he gets anything else besides Battle Fury. Yeah, so he's not that great of an LE, but he's an LE regardless. So I will show you guys him. His copper paint seems very faded. I wonder if this is a figure that kind of sat in a collection somewhere, unused and not in the safekeeping storage. Another figure I got, it looks like this is from Morrowind, is Meth. Jeez. His pipe is broken, but I do have the pipe. So the guy who sold it to me ended up sending the pipe. He's got magic retaliation. He's got 10 speed and 12 attack for 35 points. It's actually quite good. Very high stats for such a low point figure. And he keeps those stats. He keeps a high attack, but he's only got like 5 clicks and he's dead. So what's good about him is he is a shift. So I could honestly see playing this figure in a formation that needs a 3rd figure that you couldn't find like a good enough figure to kind of fit in there. And since he's a shift, he can go in any formation. So with 10 speed as well, he could keep up with most formations. One that I was really excited to get is Hellkate Hookjaw. She's got dodge, quickness, and 13 attack. And so this is a limited edition based off the common Amazon Mancatcher. Those are obviously much cheaper and a better rate. Surprisingly, this one didn't break. But this figure is like, you just basically put this figure in your army, move them around for quickness, and then go take their highest point figure or take it for capture. And he's got dodge, which is very good because the Amazon man-catchers pretty much die instantly to any attack. The fact that you have dodge is a 50-50 shot. I got 2 of these, which I was also very, very excited to get. Snurga Longstrike. One of them had a broken spear and one doesn't, so I have probably put this one in the collection and then use this one for play. But he's got 10 attack and 4 pierce with 12 range, so he's pretty much, if you have 30 or so points and you need a long range figure, he's pretty much your best figure to play with. Good attack, he has pierce and very long range and high damage. What else can you ask for a range figure? He pretty much loses all of his abilities, but shortly after getting hit. But as long as you connect once with him, he can take out an invulnerability piece. So these guys are awesome. Another figure that I was excited to get is Youll Aria, the Devoted. This figure should honestly be a hero. I wish there was a hero sticker on the bottom here. She has Weapon Master, Magic Retaliation, and a base damage of 3. So this is based off the Riven Guard, which I've talked about a lot online, and I'm very excited. I think that figure is really good. So this is kind of a super Riven Guard, where it still has Magic Retaliation, has good attack, has Weapon Master, but has a base damage of 3, which honestly is unnecessary. This figure does get a magic immunity later on, which I think is different than the regular figures, but I don't think I'll be playing with this one. This is definitely one I'd trade for. It's in near mint. The only thing that's a little weird is that the sword is curved, but a little bit of heat applied here, even from like a lamp, you can bend it back and it'd be in mint condition. So some people would cringe at that, but that is one way to get these plastic figures to go back to mint form. Another figure I was very excited to get, again, I actually wanted all of these figures. It looks like this one was rebased with super glue, is Kretch Dartcatcher. He's got 4 charge, 10 attack, 16 defense with battle armor, and he's got 3 damage. So this dude just kind of goes in and tries to hit as much as possible. Unfortunately, he does have Berserk, so he can't be a part of a formation. But he has charge for his first click, second click, loses charge, gets charge again on his 5th click, and now he does 4 damage. So he just gets more powerful. He's a Hulk figure. And then he has charge again on his 6th click for 3 damage. And then he goes down to pretty much not very good, and then he dies. So the fact that this thing has 4 clicks of charge in the second half is better than the first half is very good. I could see myself playing this figure with some sort of, maybe even as a standalone or in a formation of Orc Raiders. So I could see myself maybe with Flea. Flea has Force March and he's only 5 points, so you could stick him with him if you can get him off of his Berserk. You know what? Yeah, you can't. Just kidding. He's kind of a standalone fig, so maybe I wouldn't play with him, but still a really cool figure regardless. 2 more LEs to go, or 4 more to go. Eshek Sandslayer, he has 11 attack, 45 points, huge front arc, dodge, 6 range, kind of a great all-around figure, probably really fun to play with. And let's see, he has Weapon Master for 4 clicks, and then he kind of becomes useless, but kind of loosen this up a little bit. Oof. Some of these old dials get like glue. There we go, fixed it. Kind of got to turn them a little bit to loosen them. It's almost as if nobody ever turned this dial and it kind of solidified. I got Corrin here. This guy is really cool. 41 points only. He has 4 base damage, Magic Blast, 10 attack, 16 defense, and I believe Magic Enhancement. And he's got 8 range. So this dude is just overpowered, in my opinion. He's also from Whirlwind. It looks like his front foot is broken, so I'm not going to turn him. But But very cool looking figure, very powerful. His staff is still in mint condition, or still attached. Again, I'm saying this because I'm surprised that some of these figures are not completely broken. And then this was a second haul, but Slobber, this figure is just massive. He like just tips immediately. He has Terrify, 10 attack, and 4 damage. I love the Dragon's Gate figures because, oh, he's ugly. He's so ugly. I love the Dragon Gate figures because I feel like, I just realized this, he's got daggers attached to his wrist. Such a cool kind of flavor. They just have different abilities, like Cursed and Berserk, I think, or Frenzy. Those are just like really cool abilities that change how you play, but the figures are overstated, which is just kind of fun to play with. So Slobber is really good. Just kind of a fun figure. I want to play him in dungeons. He's like a great like end boss because he's got, 4 damage. And then the other one I got is Granite. Not sure how great this is, how good this figure is, but he has a super cool hammer. The Dragon's Gate figures are, I can't really explain it. And they're different. The Dragon's Gate figures are different than the Mage Knight 2.0 figures. The sculpts have a different paint job. I can't explain it, but when they went to Mage Knight 2.0, the paint changed, and I don't like it. I don't like the paint job on those figures. And the sculpts are a little like too realistic on the Mage Knight 2.0. They kind of lose this kind of Mage Knight aesthetic that the other Mage Knight figures have, and then 2.0 kind of goes into this like hyper realism, which isn't bad. It's not bad. Actually, I take that back. I think they're still Mage Knight. But something is different with the paint. I can't explain it. But as you can tell with Slobber here, like it was almost like they're perfecting Mage Knight from Rebellion to Lancers to Whirlwind all the way up to Dragon's Gate, and then the switch to 2.0, the bases changed and the paint changed. I don't really understand it. But these figures, they are high quality. So I am getting a large package of Dragon's Gate. I'm excited for that. But Granite has 10 flight, 8 attack, 3 damage, so not that great. But he's got 14 defense with invulnerability, which is very good. I think he's actually one of the lowest point figures in the game that starts out with invulnerability. Not entirely sure about that, but he's got 10 flight. So I don't know how I feel about this figure. It's kind of a fun Mage Knight Dungeons figure to play with. And the last one here is Leaper. His sword did break. I had to kind of glue it, and I got a refund for that, so that was kind of cool. The buyer gave me a full refund and just said keep it. So, and he's like, just buy something else. So I got it for free. He's just also a really fun Dragon's Gate figure. Okay, kind of rambling. So we're going to move on now to kind of rebasing figures. I had some people on the Discord kind of ask me about that. So there's a couple parts to rebasing. The first is finding a figure that there's 2 elements to rebasing. So the first one I'm going to talk about, let's say you don't have a figure. So right now I don't have Vire. Vire is a limited edition from from Unlimited, and I want to rebase him. And so I found a figure here, Darkwing Zombie. It's Necropolis. And I'm going to take I basically took off the base. You can kind of snap off the figure. If you kind of just pull the figure, it just snaps clean off, especially if it has 2 feet. And then I want to take some acetone. I'm going to rub off the stars, rub off the name. And I also made sure the front arc was the same as the figure that I wanted, and the back arc as well, which this figure is that way. And then I am going to take a Sharpie, a fine line Sharpie, and write the name of the figure as close to possible to the original figure. It's kind of janky, but it's the only way you really can do it. And then I have an example here. So I popped this figure off, and it's just kind of a junk common. And, oops, what you want to do is you're going to take some hot water and some soap, and you're going to peel this off and get all the glue off. So whether you're rebasing a kind of T dial or a cross dial or a regular turn dial, you want to take this sticker off and wash it off. On the Mage Knight forum, there is, now it's the HeroClix forum with Mage Knight kind of sub forum, kind of like Reddit. There is a file to download. It works with Photoshop. It works with, if you're a Mac user, I use a Pixelmator or Affinity Designer, which is a Mac Store app. It's much more user-friendly. Either way, those files somebody created a template to make a Mage Knight dial. And he also gave you the font pack, so you can download the skulls that you see here. And so it's very simple. It also comes with the bottom sticker if you want to make it a hero, and you can create point values. And he also provided an Excel sheet, which is a rough calculator for the points if you want to make custom figures. I don't really like doing that because it's really hard to balance. Since it's not an official figure, my friends would be like, I'm not playing you. So I'm only recreating real figures that I can't get. So Vire is a very, very rare limited edition figure. There's only one on eBay. It goes for $150. Very expensive. I'll make sure this is still recording. And it is. Okay. And so now that you have kind of got your dial ready, prepped, so this is what it should look like, is completely clean. Of course, you'd want to kind of clean that up a little bit. You're going to customize your dial on your computer. You're going to add your stats in. For me, I'm copying Vire, and then I'm going to print it off onto a sticker template. And so, unfortunately, you can do this with a regular printer, but it's going to be very, very blurry. If you can tell here, these are very high DPI labels that they printed on Mage Knight. I have a friend that has like a 4000 DPI printer, and it's for printing labels for his coffee company. And so I just ask him to print for me, and he charges me like $1 per sticker because it's how much it costs him. And I printed out 1.5 inches, and I cut it out with a piece of scissors really carefully into a perfect circle. You peel off the sticker, plop it on here, make sure it's perfectly smooth, pop it on, and now you have your completed dial. It's honestly that simple. There's a lot of prep work into that, but I've done it, and once you kind of have the file, you can copy and paste the file and make a new figure in a matter of 20-30 minutes. The tough thing is finding someone who can print for you. So now that you have let's say that this is popped on, you have a completed dial, but now you don't have a figure. There's a couple of options. You can paint your own D&D miniature, or you can go on eBay and purchase a miniature. So I actually painted my own over here. This is a completed miniature. I actually had a Viha of Vlad, but he broke off. And so his arm broke. So what I ended up doing is I ended up getting a dark elf, and I tried to mimic the colors as much as possible. I added some of my own flair. And I honestly like this figure better than the regular Viha Vlad. And it's a 1-to-1 size. He's pretty much the same stature as a regular Viha. And I've super glued it down, and it plays just like a regular Mage Knight figure. Unfortunately, the sticker fell off already, but that's besides the point. That was actually the regular Viha Vlad sticker, so I need to print one off. Something I missed. So that's what a completed figure can look like. So this is one I painted myself. Again, I'm not the best painter. If you're not the best painter, there are people out there that will paint for you. And this is an example of my Vire figure. He has a copper coloring, very much like a limited edition figure. Again, this is not the best tutorial. I'm just kind of mad-libbing this. He's got, the Weapon Master blade there, and he's got a crossbow, which is very much like Pierce. I tried to match the flavor. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of take that bottom bar off with some crowbar because it's kind of super glued still. And I'm going to super glue him onto this dial. And I'm going to print off my dial and then print off the label, and then I'm going to click him in. Before that, I'm going to fix this to make sure it says Vire and it is close to the font as possible. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. And if you want, you can even use acetone and just take off all of that, and then you can print off a sticker that has the Mage Knight font and go on the bottom just like a hero, and it would be like Vire 49 points, and do that instead. A lot of people do that because then it still has the Mage Knight font. It doesn't look as janky, and I think I might do that. With that being said, I'm very excited about this figure because this honestly looks like it could be like a modern version of Vire. He's got the same kind of like mask, and it's really cool. So this kind of opens up like a whole realm of Mage Knight. Some people really like customizing their figures, and some people like me like to recreate figures I can't get, so I can play with my friends. And I think that's really fun. I think that's how this game can stay alive. I'm hoping after making this video I can inspire someone to like make a fake set of figures with dials, and then they can kind of challenge the community to transform specific figures into real life figures. That would be, a really cool challenge. I don't know if many of you play Magic the Gathering, but a lot of people make fake Magic the Gathering sets. Again, it's kind of janky, but some people are really good at it. And I think if somebody was really passionate and wanted to make a list of like, let's say 30 figures that were all, maybe 5 of them were commons, 5 of them were uniques, 5 of them were heroes, 5 of them were Necropolis, 5 were Black Powder Gang, like just all over the place, 5 were Mage Spawn, and really just kind of made balanced figures that were fun to play with. And maybe even came up with a few new abilities, or maybe implemented some of the Mage Knight 2.0 abilities into 1.0, or vice versa. Or maybe it can just be strict 1.0 or strict 2.0, but that would be really cool if people could do that. But anyways, this is getting really, really long. That was my rebasing process, and that was my LE pickup that I got. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 11 figures. 2 of them were uniques. 9 of them were limited edition for $9. That's less than $1 an LE or unique. And that is just unheard of these days. People who have Mage Knight know what the game is. This guy must have not known what it was. I got a bunch of crappy, I got like 30 other nons with this as well. So I ended up just throwing those into my bulk. I looked through them. None of them were really that good. And so pretty excited about that. So these are all up for trade. I'm all up for trading. I can repair any of them that were broken that you're interested in as well. So let me know what you think. Thanks.